I'm going to show you how to do the I-cord bind off for the neckline. I've picked up my stitches using the main colour, which is in a silk mohair, and I'm going to knit the I-cord in my contrasting fingering weight yarn. The first thing we need to do is just cast on 3 stitches in our contrast yarn. So we'll do a knitted cast on, and to do that we'll just make our slip knot like so. Place that on our left hand needle. Then we'll create another 2 stitches by knitting through that stitch, pulling out the loop and slipping it onto the left hand needle, and just pull the yarn once again. So we've cast on 3 stitches in our contrast yarn. Now we're going to knit 2 stitches, then we're going to slip 2 stitches knitwise. To do that, we'll place our right hand needle through the stitch going through the front, like so. Then we're going to knit those 2 stitches through the back loop. Now to do that, the easiest way is to take your left hand needle and place it through the front of those 2 stitches. Now your right hand needle is sitting at the back, so we're knitting it through the back loop. So we've knitted those 2 stitches together. Then we'll transfer our stitches over to the left hand needle, and we'll repeat that process. When you go to knit the first stitch, just pull your yarn nice and snug, and that brings your last stitch close to the first stitch, and that's how the tube is formed. So we'll knit 2 stitches, then we'll slip the next 2 stitches knitwise, and we'll knit those 2 through the back loop. Just give it a nice snug pull. Transfer those back to the left hand needle and repeat the process. Okay, I'm going to knit all the way around the neckline, and when we get to the end I'll show you how to graft your I-cord together. So I've just about finished my I-cord. I've just got 1 stitch remaining on the left hand needle, so we're going to knit that as we have been. Knit the last 2 stitches through the back loop, and there you can see the beginning of the I-cord and the end of our I-cord. Now we're going to graft these 2 ends together. So I'm going to cut my thread, leaving a tail long enough to graft. And then we'll thread a tapestry needle or a blunt needle onto the tail. Now what we're going to do is just have a close look at our stitches and identify where we're going to pass the needle. The tail of our yarn finishes closest to the needle point, but the first stitch we're going to graft is actually the stitch that's furthest away, which is this one here. And this will bring the first stitch closest to the last stitch, and this helps to keep the tubular shape. Looking at the beginning of our I-cord, we can see one stitch here. I'm going to pass my needle under the two legs of that stitch, and then next to that is the middle stitch. Here's the two legs here. And to find the first stitch, we just have to roll the I-cord over, because the first stitch will be have rolled away onto the inside. So that's the first stitch there. I'm just going to take these stitches off the needle and place the needle the other way so that this stitch here is now accessible for grafting. Taking my tapestry needle and going from back to front, I'm going to pass the needle through the stitch but not take it off the needle at this stage. Then I'm going to find the first stitch, which is tucked around on the inside, and place my needle under both legs of that first stitch, like so. We'll pull the needle through, and then we're going to pass the tapestry needle back through the front of the stitch, going from front to back this time, and we'll take the stitch off the needle this time and just pull that through. You can always tighten the stitches a little bit more later. So we're going to repeat that. We'll take our tapestry needle from back to front through the stitch on our needle, but not take it off the needle yet. Then we'll identify the legs of the middle stitch and pass the tapestry needle behind both the legs. And then we're going to pass the tapestry needle from front to back through the stitch on our needle and remove the stitch. And we'll repeat that for the last stitch. And there you can see we've got a nice tidy graft. I'm just going to tighten those stitches because that will help to tighten this stitch here as well. So as you can see, as I tighten the graft of that first stitch, that loop disappears. So that's our I-cord that's been grafted together. I'll just weave in the ends now. I like to do just a little half knot just to secure the thread. So I just wind the yarn around the tapestry needle once, hold the wrap and pull the needle through like so, and then just thread the needle through the inner workings of the I-cord, making sure that it's not visible on the other side. And we'll just get rid of the yarn from the beginning of our I-cord. That already is secured with the original slip knot. So I'm just going to thread the yarn through the inner workings of the I-cord in the other direction, making sure it's not visible on the outside. And there we go. That's our I-cord grafted together.